ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Reidox4Life podcast. And we're your hosts. I'm Levi, and this is Lamika Renee. The main topic is how service providers are making a difference in their community. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have the one and only Dr. Alex.
Thank you, guys. It's great to be with you guys tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to share. Thank you, Levi, and thank you, Renee. I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
I really believe that we all have a place in the market, in each person's life, right? But I think when you take yourself away from the responsibility, the accountability, the power of that you harness as an individual and expecting somebody else to give you answers is where we have missed the boat. And I think that's where we're trying to find the balance, right? Yes, it's good to have people that are gonna show us the path, who are gonna be there to cheer us on, but it ultimately should be something that we feel in our bodies as the right decision for us, right?
Yes.
And for a long time, I don't think that people have that sense, or I personally haven't had that sense that it's in my control to overcome anything or become anything I am, because in order to become, you have to be.
Yes, definitely. That's for sure. That is definitely for sure right there. And we definitely believe in that too. So do you think COVID had a lot to do with, changing the perspective of people's mind as, moving away from that, that lazy, type mentality and taking care of yourself to a direction that, hey, people are now paying attention to their health?
Well, it's an interesting question, Levi, right?
Yes.
In neurology, we say we are a society of monkey see, monkey do, right? We don't do what we hear, but we do what we see.
Yes.
And so sometimes we are surrounded by people that mean the best for us, right? That want the best for us. But unfortunately, they have not found a way to be their best version of self.
Yes.
Oh. And so when you see that, you are subconsciously filtering, well, if I can be anything I want to be, but the people that matter the most to me and people that I look up to that are guiding me to be more than I can be, that I am at the moment, well, why haven't you done that, right? Yes. So sometimes I think we have to surpass the idea that, we have to model and we have to look at the closest people around us to be the success that we want to obtain. And sometimes we just have to surround ourselves with the people that we want to emulate their path, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes you just have to step out of your comfort zone and just say, I feel this is what my body is driving me to accomplish, or my mind is percolating on these thoughts constantly, but perhaps they might be taboo around the people that I'm surrounded with. So we hush them down, right? We turn them off, we silence them. But every time you're alone and you are like checking in with yourself, those are the predominant thoughts that are, running behind. And I think in most people cases, they all have that in them. And I think it's just the courage to say, I am going to go for what's in my mind, and I'm going to find ways to support whatever's percolating up here to go and do that. And I believe every single human being on this planet has a desire to be their best version. It's just that sometimes we don't have the right surroundings that may support us in taking those first steps to do that.
Yes.
Would you say that it's easier to just not do it? I mean, of course it is. Like, it's just easier to just be in a, I don't want to say funk, but I'll say funk.
Funk is a good word. I like that word. Well,
Instead of doing the necessary steps to, get to where in the mind they want to be. It's easier, I think, for a lot of people to just say, well, I'm okay
well,
with where I'm at, right?
from my experience, I think even through the transformation, you're going to have the funk time, right?
Mm.
You're going to have the funks. Because again, part of that transformation is having a little bit of stickiness that you come on the other side, right?
Mm.
But sometimes when we are in that funk for a long time, nothing seems like an opportunity. Everything becomes more of a threat, right? And our physiology tends to just further accentuates that, oh, if you step out of anything that seems like a little bit of your comfort zone, you're gonna be eaten alive, right? So you better stay there and just be thankful and pray for what you got, right? Because you don't want to be searching for anything else, right? And I'm sure even in cultures that I was raised in, for example, I was taught along my upbringings, you should just be happy with what you got. You don't need to search for anything else, just be happy with what you got. And that's okay. I mean, being happy with what you got right now is the first step, and it's a necessary step to get to something else, right? But we can always search for more. We can always look for better things, for more things that satisfy our inner child, our inner being, our inner cores that drive us in life. And I think for a lot of people, that is the key. Discovering what drives you, and sometimes if it doesn't fit with what our mom, dad, preacher, teacher tells us we should be, that is the biggest conflict that we have, right? Because God forbid my mom is a MD and I want to go get a chiropractic job, right?
Yeah.
Or my mom is whatever, and I'm supposed to now step out of this bounds of what it is socially acceptable, or where you should stick around to fit in. I mean, I think that's just barriers that we put on ourselves as a society, where it truly doesn't hold water. It's something that we should strive to break through, because it's our birthright. Because I don't know who I'm meant to serve. I don't, unless I engage, unless I ask, unless I do a podcast like this, right? I don't know in what capacity I can serve or reach somebody that I'm meant to serve if I am always guarding myself. And after all, what I think of myself is kind of irrelevant, because the people I need to serve have a completely different perception of what I'm capable and how I get them to where they need to go.
Excellent. Nice. Yes. Thank you for that. Man, you know what? We jumped right into it. We was trying to, that was just an introduction. Yeah, that's a rapport. We built a rapport.
Hey, I'm okay if that's the whole interview. If you guys are happy, so am I.
Yeah, that's great. But we just want to dig a little bit deeper. And, we want people to know what you do specifically. Okay, I know we know you're a chiropractor, but I mean, do you have a specialized, area that you concentrate on in chiropractic?
So, yeah, I mean, I really have been playing a lot with the idea of what is it that I really do. And I am certified in few different programs, and I offer few specific services. And one of the services that I have been trying to introduce to my community is that I actually help parents learn to read the manual to better understand their child's development and potentially what behaviors really tell us about their overall readiness to, say, engage in school. And so I don't know if you guys are familiar at all with Dr. Amy Spolstra, but I am certified with her focus certification. So I am just trying to figure out how in my own self-comfort and my own being do I deliver the message of chiropractic has a place in your child's development. And it's a foundational piece on how we encourage their abilities, their curiosities, their drive, that inner drive that's going to serve them for a long time to really go after who they are, not what we want them to be.
Exactly. Yes. There you go. That's excellent. So I want to ask you a question. Actually, it's a question that you posted. All righty. But I really want to hear your perspective of it, right?
Sure.
And it's called, how can you tell if your child is ready for a task, say reading? Okay, what does it mean to be behind?
Okay. So yeah, what you're telling me is that you actually did some research on me.
Yeah. You like when stop your Facebook.
So, Levi, what that really means is that as a society, I think we have put a lot of expectations on our children, okay, way too early. And if we take a step back and we really look at how the nervous system develops and how it guides the tools that we have in order to engage in more executive functions like reading and writing, then we can actually step back and say, my child is ready for school. You know, just because they are chronologically appear that they should handle a certain task doesn't necessarily mean that they are there. But that also doesn't mean that that's going to be there for the rest of their life. That just means right here and right now, for whatever reason, they are not where we expect them to be, or perhaps they're exactly where they're supposed to be, but we have expectations of my neighbor child for some reason is there, my teacher is telling me they need to be there. So again, when we know just a little bit about how the brain develops, how we acquire different tools, and in turn the tools that we have dictate our behaviors, I think we would be more compassionate of our children, more compassionate of ourselves, and it would allow us to really engage and connect with our children on a much more deeper level that will allow us to create emotional and physical safety for them.
Excellent.
Nice.
Excellent. Well
Nice.
said.
So what inspired you to venture into the career path that you're in? What inspired you?
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't have any kind of elaborate stories for that yet. But the gist of it is that I was 24 years old. I just kind of been in my career. I have a past job was a chemist. I have a degree in chemistry, okay? So I was working for a medical device manufacturer and having a wonderful social life, or I thought so. I felt like I was, socially connected. I had a good job. I was doing traveling like I enjoyed, making decent money, right? Financially, I thought I was really secure. But my back and my vision started to decline. And I was like, what is going on here? I do Pilates, I eat healthy, all of these things are kind of up to par where you would expect a 24-year-old to be, and my body's breaking. And I was like, this doesn't make any sense. So I Google a local chiropractor here in town, Greensboro, North Carolina, and he introduces me to this amazing thing that I have in my practice now called subluxation station. And the first thing he says to me is, Alex, I understand you're in pain, but let's take a look at how's your nervous system doing and how's that impacting any ailments that you currently are experiencing. And I said, what? But as a chemist, I was like kind of intrigued. I was like, we know that there are certain things in the body that we have no control over, right? I'm obsessed with Krebs cycle. I don't know, guys. I'm sure with redox, you guys know what that is, right? How the body makes the energy and so on and so forth, right?
Yes, yes.
I was like, I have no control over that. So how is that done? How does the body know when to do that? And why do some people have more efficient Krebs cycle, others don't? And that's where it spiraled for me. I mean, I stayed with Dr. Turi, who used to take care of me for over 10 years before I went to school. That's when I discovered about, how important chiropractic care is for children, what it has done for me in the 10-year span before I became a student and embarked on this career. So I just said, this is something that I want to share with people. This is something that I want people to know, that you can be eating the healthiest food available there. You can be doing Pilates and yoga, but you can still have a inefficient nervous system that is not allowing you to optimize all the other things that you're doing in life.
Impressive. Well said. Well said, man. That nervous system, man, it is really very important to our overall health, right? Just as well. Let me ask this. I don't know, is now as far as the nervous system and the gut, now are they two different things or are they one and the same?
Well, the science would kind of agree with us that they're almost something that you cannot separate. It's kind of, they both come in as in a packet. Okay, we know that there's a brain gut axis, and we know that one influences the other. Okay, that is why in my practice I choose to address both simultaneously. I feel like if we're gonna create the change and create it as fast as possible for people, because again, we are still a very instantaneous gratification driven society, right? I want to provide them with the wins as soon as possible, right? We can't really control the healing journey as much because it's on an individual basis. But if we address the gut inefficiencies and the brain inefficiency, then I think we are really, really creating a robust healing process for the individual. I mean, the gut and the brain is connected by this beautiful nerve we all talk about, the vagus nerve, right? Yeah. And so the research is out there, and it just, the less vagal tone the individual has, we can assign it to all different ailments, right? But then that's not, I want to work on the nervous system. I want to work on the vagal tone. I want to optimize what the body naturally is capable of doing, but the body cannot do that in a vacuum, as one of my mentors says, right? It cannot do that in the vacuum. But it also cannot do efficiently if we only are concentrating on healthy foods. Because if the gut cannot absorb what we're eating, then it's pointless, right? It's not as efficient. And that absorption is controlled by the vagal tone.
Excellent, excellent. Well said, well said. Now I think you already answered this question I'm gonna ask, but okay, could you elaborate a little bit on the vacuum when you said the body can't operate in a vacuum with those two?
Yes. So one of my mentors, you can be. I'll backtrack a little bit. In my practice, we talk a lot about the wheel of health. There are 7 areas of life that we have to really try and maintain and be congruent with our values. And anytime you are incongruent with whatever your inner value, your driving force within you is, you are susceptible to having some inefficiencies in one of those areas, right? And just like in a car, if one tire is off and we just decide to keep going, there is a certain amount of time for that car to function, right? You might choose to say, oh, I'm going to go from Greensboro to Atlanta on this spare tire, right? But the car is not going to let you do that. The car is going to stop when it's exhausted all its energy, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, our bodies are so smart that they will function past the exhaustion. That past exhaustion point is called disease.
Okay. Excellent.
And so I try to paint a picture to all of my patients. We have a spare tire system in our bodies that's called these little whispers, okay? These little, oh, today I feel really like weak. I feel not energized, right? But we push that aside. And as a matter of fact, we're told, right? Push through it. You don't need rest.
Yeah.
You don't need this. You don't need that. Who needs water? Let's reach for that Gatorade or whatever the next, sugar laden thing is out there. So I feel like, the basics have been lost along the way.
Yes, definitely.
And if we were to go back to the basics and really start hydrating, really start sleeping, really kind of separated ourselves from this thing for just few hours a day, right? Our lives would be so much better. Our nervous system would actually be in a much better condition, because all of these things that we're doing is exhausting our nervous system and reducing our capacity to filter through our environment. And so any change of that norm that we're used to is just going to push us overboard, and we become really, really, really unhappy with ourselves, right? And the body shows that. Yes. So when I say the body cannot function in a vacuum, I really mean that from a perspective of we cannot concentrate on just one thing to work for us when we know the body needs so many different things. So we have to balance all of the things that we know the body needs in order to do well. That includes physical activity. That includes sleep and rest. That includes eating healthy foods. But then when you go down the rabbit hole of what our food is really like, is that even possible?
Yes.
Is that even possible? That's why supplements come into the realm of a healthy habit, right? I mean, for me personally, I choose to use supplements because as a chemist, I know what are the foundational pieces the body needs in order to create other things the body needs, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't use supplements because I feel like they are just a natural way to treat disease, but it's something that's basic that the body needs in order to turn over things in the body. And we know that different cells in the body have a different turn rate time, right? Mm-hmm. So that's really what that really means to me personally. Yes. So when I introduce people to supplements, I am not really after let's take every supplement known to man that is a substitute for a Tylenol, but it's really building a foundation of this is what the body needs. And if we eat healthy as much as possible, if we have physical activity, if we're drinking water, then all these things over time should start regulating themselves. Because I live my life with the principle that body is a self-healing, self-regulating, and self-organizing entity. But it needs basic building blocks to do that.
Yes, definitely. Wholeheartedly agree. Dr. Alex,
Levi.
This has been great. We started out, we didn't even get to do an intro. We just went right into it, man. And I love these kind of conversations, man.
I'm a go-getter. I'm a
Yes.
go-getter. We just go for it.
I can continue this conversation on and on because because you are a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experience, and you're sharing it in your community, and we are so happy to be part of your life right now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Alex.
Yep.
Hey,
But we're gonna really quick. We're gonna kind of go back a little bit. It's recorded, so we're gonna edit this.
Sure.
Is it okay if we start to where Levi like introduces you?
Absolutely. You guys can do whatever. I hope this has served the purpose of what you guys needed to be. And thank you again for the opportunity to just chat. I mean, I love to chat, but for me, none of this is really organized. I don't have answers that are kind of cookie cutter thing that I say to everybody who asks me something similar. It just comes from the heart, whatever I feel at the moment. And so if this serves you the purpose of whatever you needed to serve, please use it and we can go from there, or we can meet at another time. I've really enjoyed meeting you guys. Are you going to be at the marketing?
Yes.
You guys are going to be there. I unfortunately missed the ticket.
Oh.
There are plenty of people trying to get. Well, I don't know.
I talked to someone. We talked to someone earlier this week. They had one ticket that they're not going, and they're trying to give it away or give it to someone.
Okay.
But I'm trying to recall who that person was.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, it happened this week. We can go back into our archives and see who all we talked to this week, and maybe just start sending taxes out for you.
Yeah, I mean, if that's within the capacity of your of your schedule right now and your availability, if you can find that out for me, please do.
Yes.
But I let that one slide, and it's on me. It's I actually had the entire week off, but I don't know what happened. Just the ticket just literally flew out, and I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to mean something but we'll let it play out the way it's supposed to. So we'll see, we'll go from there, and then maybe I get the opportunity to meet you guys at another event.
Oh, most definitely. Yes, you will. And we're going to stay in touch too, because I really love, we want to talk to you again. And because I feel like we didn't finish yet. I think we just got we got some major nuggets right here. Right. And I think you just like us, you're a wealth of knowledge, but I want other people to hear what you have to provide to the community, and it's great information. Well, I love it. I love it. Yes. So I'm gonna do this quick intro real quick, and actually we gotta do an outro also. So anyway, all right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the doctor herself. Cell communication is important. All righty. Okay, so hey, you guys heard it here first. You heard it from Dr. Alex. She is a chiropractor, specializing in a couple of major areas, in our health systems. And thank you, Dr. Alex. Could you tell these folks where they can get a hold of you?
Yes, I practice in Greensboro, North Carolina. You can find me on social media. Probably the best way to reach out is through Messenger. Just send me a message, and I'll be happy to chat and share any knowledge that I may have up here with you, so that you can transform your life and of your family. Where else can they find me? I guess that's it. Dr. Alexsandra Vujnovic is probably where they can best find me.
Excellent. Yes. Hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're anywhere near Dr. Alexandra, please get in touch with her. She got some business for you.
Thank you, so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.